Welcome back. While the fuel scarcity bites harder in Lagos and its environs, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has announced measures to help ease the situation. The NNPC says it will, alongside the Department for Petroleum Resources, monitor fuel stations in Lagos and other states to check hoarding and panic buying of petrol. In the meantime, import allocations have been released to the Major Marketers Association of Nigeria. Our energy correspondent, Olu Phillips, who's been monitoring the situation, explains that since the first import by the association will be effective by the weekend, it will reduce the gap in supply.
These are not very exciting times for motorists in some parts of the country. The reason is simple. Purchasing petrol is no longer as simple as plug and play, a situation which has lingered weeks on. Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, appear to be worse hit as the backlog grows.
Many filling stations that, under normal circumstance, sell or dispense from 6 pumps or 8 pumps will just be dispensing from 1 or 2. The expectation was that any day from now, from last week, government was going to announce an increase in price. And if they have 100,000 liters in their tanks, then they will just multiply the number by the difference between 97 naira and whatever the government decides is the new price.
Some parts of the country where the same scenario have been noticed include Kaduna, Ogun, Kogi, and Ibadan. The situation NNPC describes as clearly artificial. Where the product is found, not many buy at recommended price, in addition to suspected hoarding by dealers.
Some of them are so ridiculous. You will buy, but it's not up to the amount that you are buying.
As at this morning, we have been able to release 25,000 metric tons of PMS to major oil marketers, and that translates to about 33 million liters of PMS, or over 1,000 trucks fully loaded with PMS. And this is dedicated to major marketers, and this is going to be exclusively for the Lagos and its environs.
Some sense of responsibility has been advocated for dealers, just as authorities concerned predict a return to normalcy in few days. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
First Bank, truly the first.
Well, it's time now for business news, and here's Loretta Chiogo.
Thank you. Let's quickly take a look at this. It looks like good news. The federal government has secured a $1 billion investment for the generation of 1,500 megawatts of electricity. Now, the Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, who announced the investment in Abuja, said this will help boost power generation, transmission, and distribution of the supply in the country. And of course, there are indications that Nigeria will have to adjust the value of its currency, the naira, in the near future. This is because the currency is presently under pressure in a number of areas. This forecast, which is predicted by renowned economist Bismarck Rewani, identifies further depreciation of the naira if an adjustment is not carried out at the appropriate time.
Most major market currencies are under pressure at this point in time because of a number of reasons. One, the tapering of the U.S. Quantitative easing, but that's not as much as that. That is not that important. What is really important is the fact that there are leakages in their system and that the currency is coming under pressure. The currency is coming under pressure because your revenue stream has reduced while your expenditure has stayed constant. So the gap is increasing. You can see that in your reserves. Your reserves have come all the way from $48 billion middle of last year to $40 billion. And as a matter of fact, by tomorrow or so, it should be at about $39 billion. Today, it's 165 in the interbank market and 155 in the official market. The reserves are at about $40 billion. You need to do something to ensure that that gap between the supply and demand is met. At this point in time, the gap is being exaggerated because there's fear and there's speculation and as well as fundamental weaknesses. If you make a right move and restore confidence in the market, then you'll be able to achieve equilibrium without massive adjustments. This currency has to be adjusted. If you do it early, you adjust marginally. If you wait later, it's going to be gangrenous and you're going to have to do something much more dramatic.
Gains from some heavyweights at the Nigerian Stock Exchange were not enough to affect market figures positively today. The all-share index closed today at 39,564.43 points with a market capitalization of 12.70 trillion. Harriet Agbenye is here with more trading figures.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. For the first trading day of the week and the month of March, key indicators closed flat. The all-share index closed at 39,564.43 points with a market capitalization of 12.70 trillion naira. Despite gains from some market bellwethers, Nigerian breweries added almost 7 naira to its share price. That's about 4.60% up to end the day at 158 naira 99 kobo. Unilever and Union Dye-Consult, each with marginal gains of 95 and 62 kobo, are also among the day's gainers. On the laggards list, 32 equities depreciated in price, and Guinness was a top loser as investors took 9 naira 80 kobo off the equity. Transcorp, Zenith Bank and Axis Bank were the most actively traded stocks for the day. When the closing bell rang, investors had in 4,352 deals bought 239.86 million shares for 2.44 billion naira. Well, those are the day's trading figures. I'm Harriet Agbenye.
Thank you, Harriet, and that's it on Business News. It's back to Bimbo for the rest of the news at 10.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Newcastle boss Alan Pardew is in trouble with the English Football Association over his touchline behaviour after clashing with Hull City midfielder David Mailer. To stay with us, that's in Sports News.